Hey everyone, Dan Johnston here. I'm the Jack of All Ministries, here to help you make it happen. And today we're going to take a look over the last year because today is the 1-year anniversary from the release of my first Jack of All Ministries video. So I finally made it to the 1-year mark. Here it is. Jack of All Ministries has been around for 365 days since the very first video was released here on YouTube. And over the last year, I've learned a lot. I've developed a lot, made a lot of mistakes. And what I'm going to do in this video is I just kind of want to reflect on last year to talk about the goals that I had, to see if I actually met them, to talk a little bit about the videos that have come out in the last year, but I also want to take a look into the future to look at some of the goals that I want to set for the next year to come, as well as taking a look at some of the videos that you can expect to see in the next year. So to start this off, let's take a look at some of the goals that I set for myself to accomplish in the first year. We'll take a look at whether or not I met them and what that's going to mean for the future. So the first goal that I set for myself is I wanted to have 1,000 subscribers by the end of this. I mentioned this in my ZV1 video that I made about why I wanted there to be 1,000 subscribers at the end of the year. And the reason why is because in my first year I wasn't sure, is this something I want to keep doing? I mean, it takes quite a bit of time to make these videos to, you got to film them, you got to come up with projects, you got to edit them, make the thumbnails, upload them. I mean, there's a lot of things that you do for each video, and to just keep repetitively doing that all the time can get pretty cumbersome. And so I wanted to make sure that I had a goal that was set for myself so that I could measure at the end of the year to figure out whether or not it's worth doing. And I set 1,000 subscribers because YouTube sets 1,000 subscribers as the point where they'll start paying you some of the ad money that happens when you watch these videos. And I figured, well, if YouTube thinks that I'm valuable enough to pay with 1,000 subscribers, then that must mean that I've hit some kind of a benchmark. And so I figured, okay, 1,000 is what I want to be at the end of the year. Well, now that I've hit my 1-year mark, I have 873 subscribers as of right now, which is quite a bit short of the 1,000. And so it's a little bit disappointing that I didn't hit that number, but the truth is I'm close enough to where I could say, okay, I feel like this is worth it. 1,000 subscribers is really just around the corner, and to be honest with you, I've had some issues over the last couple of months because, number one, I had COVID in July, and then I also had my MacBook screen just totally cracked. That took some time, so that took me out of the editing game. So, I mean, basically, the last couple months here, I haven't been able to put out videos the way that I want to. And then when you combine that with the fact that I'm working on a project right now, which I plan on making a lot of videos for, I'm making these videos, but I'm not editing anything yet because I wanted to finish the project before I, kind of started editing the videos and releasing videos about it. I wanted to have a finished product that I could show off in the videos as I'm working on it. And so that has kind of, it's taken a lot of my focus and it's kind of just thrown things off a little bit. Basically, all that's to say that I slowed down my video efforts a little bit at the end, and I think that probably had a lot to do with why I didn't hit 1,000. If I would have hustled the last couple months, I think I could have hit 1,000, and I'm okay with it because I think that it's worth the trade-off. The other thing is that I had set a goal for myself to do 24 videos by the end of the year. I didn't make this goal at the beginning. At first, I didn't know what I was going to do. I kind of figured that I would make a video every week. I started off with a stool pigeon drum channel at the same time I started my Jack of All Ministries channel, and I quickly realized that I didn't want to be making drum videos every other week, as I was also making videos for Jack of All Ministries. So I decided to pick just one channel to focus on it, and then eventually I decided to release a video every other week, and then that became twice a month. And twice a month is something that I feel like I can maintain whenever things aren't getting in my way. So I wanted to have 24 videos by the end of this, and ultimately this will be my 24th video, if you count my 2 YouTube intro videos, which I do count, because that still takes work to produce those. But I think that having a target of 2, per month is going to work out pretty well into the future. So when this channel started, I really didn't have a whole lot of goals for the number of views or anything like that because I didn't know what those goals needed to be. So I just kind of started. My very first video didn't really take off very well. It wasn't until my third video, which was my green glue video, to where I finally kind of struck some gold a little bit. And the reason I think that happened is because I think a lot of people are interested in green glue, but not a lot of people are really talking about it from a really critical angle. And so I kind of found something unique that people wanted to know about, but that people weren't necessarily making content about. And so that kind of got my channel rolling. For the first 3 weeks, I had about 20 views a day on that video. And then all of a sudden, for some reason, it just kind of took off, and I ended up getting, 96 views a day, from that point to where we are right now. So green glue is still a pretty popular video. But the interesting that happened was my first video, which was the soundproofing materials video that I made, really didn't take off at all until after green glue did. And so basically what happened was it seemed like people were watching green glue, and then all of a sudden they saw like a link to my soundproofing materials video, and then they decided to watch that. And so that's what actually caused that one to take off. And right now I have just under 34,000 views on that video, which is really not too bad. And green glue has been passed up, and now it's only sitting at about 15,000 views, which is also pretty good in my opinion as well. And so basically we see the materials video is averaging about 125 views per day since I released the green glue video. And so to me, I feel like that's a large enough audience to make me say, okay, I think this channel is actually doing something. There are enough people out there that are interested, that are watching, that will keep me motivated and willing to keep making content for this channel. So I would say that my goals, even if they haven't been completely met or if they weren't even completely set, I think it's enough to tell me that I should keep this thing going for at least another year. So let's talk about what I want to do in my second year, because as I said, I do think it's worth it, and I do want to do this for another year. So I came up with a list of 5 goals that I want to accomplish this year, and so at the end of this year I can do another video like this and look back and see how I did. So the first thing I want to do, which is the easiest one I think, is I want to hit 1,000 subscribers by January. I don't think that's too hard. That's only 150 or less, actually, people that need to subscribe. So I think I can do that, and I'm hoping that I can kind of gain some momentum once I finish up the project that I'm working on right now. I'd like to finish with about 2,000 subscribers, because that would mean that I get the 1,000 that I wanted in my first year, plus I clean up the mess of the subscribers I didn't get this year. I'd like to have 2 videos with 10,000 plus views on them that come out next year, which I don't think should be too hard. And I'd also like to maintain my video pace. I want to keep coming out with 2 videos a month. And that's going to be a challenge because of the current project that I'm working on. It's taking up a lot of my time, and I have several projects coming up that I have to get done before the winter time. So trying to keep that going is going to be a little bit of a challenge, but I think I can do it. And finally, I want to utilize YouTube Shorts and maybe TikTok in order to kind of, not just make long videos, but have quick ones, quick tips, and things that could draw people in to watch the rest of my videos. So I'd like to have a little bit of a presence there as well. A part of that, I'm not even going to lie, my daughter's friend has 1,000 followers on TikTok, and she did it in like a couple months, and she kind of, there's like this making fun of me, like, oh, you don't even have 1,000 on YouTube, but I have 1,000 on TikTok, and I didn't even try that hard. And it's like, all right, let me see what I can do then, because I feel like it's a challenge, so I want to meet that. So here's what you can expect next year. So my second year videos, here's what I plan on doing. First of all, the project I'm working on right now is I bought a 1967 Trailblazer trailer, a 16-footer, and basically we have torn it down to the studs. When I first bought the trailer, I wanted to kind of keep most of it because it was in really good shape and it had been renovated, but my wife wanted to make a significant change in that she said, I feel like the dining table should be in the front and not in the back, and it's the reverse on the trailer, and so I want to flip this around. And it's like, well, when you're flipping the location of things, you're going to have to tear some things down. And as I kept going, it's like, well, I'm going to pull these walls off, well, I'm going to do this. And so basically I ripped it all the way down to the stud, so it's like I should have bought, a much cheaper blank trailer to build from, but live and learn. What are you going to do? So right now the trailer it's looking pretty good. I've put in some really cool features. We have a TV that is going to lift out in kind of like a private room that my wife and I are going to have. The dining area is going to have a curtain that closes and seals in our own little sleeping area. My daughter's bed in the back is going to have an electric lift on it to where it goes up and down. My son's bed is going to pull out and fold into a couch, you know. So we're going to have some pretty cool stuff in the trailer that I'm excited to see when it's done, and I'm excited to show you as well. So we're going to do that. We're going to do a bunch of videos on that. I also want to do a video on the use, you know, the practicality and the sound quality between acoustic and electric drums in church. I have been in drums in churches that use both. In my church in California, we always used acoustic drums. In North Carolina, we started with acoustic, and then we went to electric, and then after I left, they went back to acoustic. And here in Illinois, we use electric drums at church. But there's been conversations about maybe whether or not we should go to acoustic drums, or should we invest in a better electric kit. So I'm going to do some experiments and some you know, kind of a show and tell type thing to help churches figure out, you know, really the gap between electric and acoustic drums in church. I also want to revisit the soundproofing materials video that I started my channel with, because there are more materials I want to test. I'd like to improve the test a little bit, and then I'd also like to try, you know, kind of combining materials to see how well different things work. So you can plan on watching me revisit that in the future. I also want to do some more pastoral help videos, because I feel like because that's my bread and butter for my job, that I should probably share more about that. Teaching maybe how I do sermon prep, or like, you know, financial planning for pastors, the unique challenges that pastors face. A friend of mine, his name is Bill Allison. He's kind of the, you know, discipleship guy of the area, if you will, and he's really, really good at knowing how to live a very simple disciple-making lifestyle. So I want to interview him on my channel and just kind of share that with you. And so I got some pastoral things I want to do. And then finally, I might do something about putting on a play. I've put on several plays in churches, and they usually go off pretty well. Because I feel like I've found a balance of keeping it simple, knowing that you're not going to put on a full-on, you know, professionally theatrical production, but at the same time you can put on something that's high quality, that people want to go to, that people feel like they've accomplished something. But you also get to build community and do some really great things that way when you do a play in church. And so I might do something like that coming up this year as well. If you have any ideas or anything that you'd like to see coming up in the next year, please put that in the comments. I'd love to, you know, hear your ideas and to find out what it is you think that I could help you with as the Jack of all ministries. So that's going to do it for this 1-year update video, everyone. I want to thank all of you for taking the time to watch my videos, like my videos, comment on them, and subscribe to my channel. You know, I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to share what I know and to also learn from you as we communicate in the comments and stuff like that. Again, if you have any ideas, please put it in the comment section. I would love to hear what you'd like to see, and I would love to help you out in any way I can. And with that, I hope you have a great day. I hope that you enjoy everything that's going to come out in the next year. And until then, I will see you on the next video.